What I've really come to value about coffee is its ability to connect people from different spheres of life.
It brings people together. It actually creates an environment where people can meet.
And I find coffee is such a beautiful vehicle for change. And it's a vehicle to change people's lives.
No matter how sophisticated your home coffee brewing device is, the draw card of this tiny little bean, roasted, ground, and brewed into a magical cup of energy, comfort, and warmth, has been remarkable in facilitating life in a public, shared space. Whether to meet friends, a new date, a business meeting, or just work alone, coffee shops have given us a home away from home, an office away from office. But what happens though when Christ followers start looking at their spheres, asking what it could look like when it comes in contact with people that have been changed by God's love and gospel? Amongst hundreds of potential stories, we followed 3 common grounders to see the impact God is having in the city of Cape Town's coffee industry.
So as a company, we've been around for 10 years, and in that time, the role of barista has changed a lot. As information becomes available to the public, baristas are expected to know that. So all of a sudden, organic chemistry is part of the job. Geography is part of the job. Understanding the effects of altitude on the physiology of a plant is part of the job.
In the middle of bustling Woodstock, Rosetta Roastery have made a name for themselves in setting a quality of excellence for their customers' experience, taste, and even education in what they are purchasing.
One of the things that we discovered in our journey of seeking quality was that we were unable to deliver on that quality unless we could guarantee that we were treating each node in the chain with care, which meant valuing each human in that chain. So practically, when it comes to hiring people, one can't pay a wage of someone who can merely press a button. And from the beginning, we've made a conscious decision to pay wages triple in some cases of what our competitors are paying, because we understand that people need to feel valued in their position. And as we upskill them, they also need to understand that the information that they have within them has market value. We want our employees to feel like they are delivering something of value to the customer, and you can't do that if they don't feel valued as employees. As much as my life aspirations and goals grow and I want more for myself, I realize that there are people giving the sweet spot of their lives to building Rosetta with me. And that's a huge responsibility. How am I going to grow the business to be able to provide for all of us so that my team, my employees can realize their life ambitions and goals? And so that's almost surpassed the need to produce a great coffee.
On the other side of Cape Town, over the mountain, nestled in the heart of Hout Bay in Imizamayetu, another intrepid entrepreneur is making waves in this industry. Dave was working in the world of marketing and media when he sensed God calling him to take a step of faith and resign to start something new.
I set up the coffee school and we had our first class start in June 2016, I think it was, yeah. And from those 20 students we trained, 16 went on to find employment, and I couldn't believe it. From these, we're working with at-risk youth. One of the guys was even illiterate. A lot of them coming from, backgrounds which included gangsterism, drugs, and alcohol abuse, and now they were employed and adding value to society and being restored and renewed. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe that this was happening, and so I was hooked, and I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
And God wasn't done. Even though a few doors closed, God had his plan, and he led Dave to another NGO called Source to officially start the Woza Barista School.
Woza is the Zulu word for come. It's a word of encouragement. It's used to get someone or something going. And with what we do, that's exactly what we aim to do with our baristing course and with everything we do. We want to try and give people a little bit of Woza, give them the encouragement to go beyond where they believe that they're supposed to be.
Woza and Source made stage 1 of their course, the Zanokanyo Network Job Readiness Course. This served the purpose of teaching their future baristas some key skills for both their learning and future employment, but also gave their students the courage and confidence in achieving academically.
the students actually can't do the barista course unless they've done the job readiness program through the Zanakanya network. And we found since the students have actually started doing that they come out ready for work. They're better equipped to deal with scenarios and situations in the workplace. And they've also dealt with things that they might not have dealt with in their past, like, why am I in this situation? What are the hurts that I've had in my past that are stopping me from being the person that God wanted me to be? So we've trained 95 students, have graduated through our course, and we've placed around 70% of these students at companies like Seattle Coffee, Woolworths Cafe, Need, Bootlegger, a lot of independent coffee shops too.
God is even using the local church and businesses to bring light to brokenness and hopelessness within this industry. Another common grounder has been working hard to bring the hope he has found to others in the sphere. Mondley walked a long journey from living on the streets to being the owner of a coffee shop.
Yeah, like one Sunday morning, I saw the Common Ground banner. And then I thought, okay, well, I'm hungry. There's a church, and they probably have food in there. And there was no food, but they were very friendly people, and there was coffee and there was biscuits, and it was in winter, so it was pretty cold and rainy. And it was just so good to be around people. And after the service, this lady came to me, and she actually just asked me about where do I stay and where I'm from. And she introduced me to the parts of the church, and from there they got me accommodation at the shelter, and so that's how I got into Common Ground, and then just started going to small groups, got connected into the life of the church.
Mondley began working as a barista and fell in love with coffee making, eventually deciding to launch his own coffee shop.
So I took the idea to the small group, and the guys were very amped, and they were very supportive. And so they helped with whatever they could, with ideas and with the finances to get started. One of the guys gave me a loan, interest-free.
Not only has Mondley had his life turned around, his coffee shop is located in the very place where he attended Narcotics Anonymous meetings, and he is using his workplace and influence to bring light to others who are feeling lost and broken.
Well, one of the best things that I enjoy about being here is that there's still support groups that take place here. I get to be a daytime bartender, I guess, because a lot of people come with a lot of different challenges, and I get to be an ear and a voice.
In just these 3 stories, we see how Christ followers, through their obedience and passion for God and His city and people, are impacting and affecting renewal within their spheres. Whether it is someone walking past a Sunday service and finding faith, to industry ambassadors showing God's heart for excellence and ethics, to looking for gaps to create employment. And we know God isn't done. These stories are evidence of God's hand to reach people with His love and justice. And God is doing this everywhere, no matter which industry we're in. These stories point to the gifts God is giving to Cape Town through more churches, more Christ followers, more compassion and justice, more strengthening of churches, and more cultural renewal. This will create flourishing and life in our city.